Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel. You got your boys here, Laney and Bert, the Dividend Diplomats. It's Monday morning. You know what that means? It is episode 3 of the Dividend Diplomats podcast show. We're still working on the name for it, but the Diplomat Show, Dividend Diplomats podcast, Monday morning extravaganza, something. We'll figure it out. But what we're going to do today, we're going to talk to you about just a bunch of topics that have caught our mind. Some of them are news bites. Some of them are just things we want to look at that don't fit the traditional profile of a full video. So we got four. That's 3. I held up 3. We have 4 exciting topics just to talk through with all of you right now.
Smash that subscribe button. Give Bert and I a nice thumbs up. We're coming at you with our episode number 3, as he said, guys. Also, man, we are getting so close. What's the tally right now? What is our subscriber count?
I've been watching it all day to see if it'll put us over the 19K mark.
Let's see where are we at.
Oh, we are. Let's see if we can get it here.
Oh, no, back it up a little bit.
Back it up. No, we can't see it. It is 18,994 is what I was trying to show you on that screen.
Gosh, guys, hopefully you guys are hitting that subscribe button to get us the final 6. Come on.
Come on.
Let's go. Let's make some noise on Monday morning.
Yeah, that's
all right, Bert, but let's talk. Let me talk to you. LA Knight style here. S&P 500, man. Tell you what, not to open it, it's not an opening topic, but for the last 5 days, they finished up again for the week. Another 0.75%, up another 40 points. At one part, I think they did cross 5,500 at one point this week on Thursday. So
wild.
Yeah, another green week.
Absolutely wild, and that's going to be reflected in here, especially obviously you log into your brokerage, you're seeing record highs here, and it's really benefited by the big tech boom, right? You can't really hide from it. So I think that's actually probably going to be a good transition into our first story here, Lanny. We're going to talk about what the heck is going on with NVIDIA now that they're in the post-stock split, because they continue to make major headlines, Lanny. I joked on our X feed that it was shocking to see them down for a day on Friday. I didn't know that stock could go down. But there was a point this week where NVIDIA was the highest market cap company. It was $3 trillion. It passed Microsoft. It passed Apple. Now it's in the 3 spot, but it seems like we have a 3-horse race to see which company is going to be the largest. And that is crazy to me.
Yeah, pretty wild. They popped up, again, over 3.3 trillion in market cap. Obviously they finished in the red here for the week on just again on that Friday, down 3.22% after the good old 10-for-1 stock split there, guys. They actually finished down over the last 5 days, surprisingly. But finishing at 3.11 trillion in market cap, nothing to scoff at. But they did fall, like you said, Bert, going from number 1 back to number 3.
Sure, and they're not a dividend stock, so they don't fit our traditional profile, but you can't ignore what's going on with NVIDIA right now. It's impossible to talk about the market, talk about your portfolio, and see what's happening. And that's especially because so much of our portfolio, too, is in those 401ks, it's in those index funds, it's in VOO, it's in VIIX, VINIX, it's in all of them, all your alphabet soups of S&P 500 funds are impacted by the surge in NVIDIA, the boom of AI, and the fact that they passed Microsoft and Apple for one moment in time is crazy.
Just another, I guess, element to what they've been able to achieve over the last 12 to 24 months, guys. But what else happened this week?
All right, we kicked this week off with style, right? Because Vanguard's high dividend yield ETF, VYM, blew the cover off the dividend increase amount, and that made you pretty happy here, Landy. What was this dividend increase that we saw from VYM?
Well, guys, we all know, real talk, they were negative on their dividend growth in Q1 because Q1 they had an earlier dividend announcement. We said it, I think, a couple times. Again, the dividend was announced earlier, like maybe mid-March. So the fund is missing a lot, call it at least 1 week's worth of dividend payments to the fund that they give back to their shareholders. So we knew Q2 was going to be bigger, but it was just by how much. And Bert, when you own as many shares as the bad guy, Chico, you get pretty pumped up because it wasn't just 5% increase Q2 to Q2 last year. It wasn't just 10%. You know, it was 16.7% increase. Now, I try not to get too hyped up about it because again, they're making up for the lost ground in Q1. So it's leveling itself out. But yeah, a nice double-digit increase for the Vanguard high dividend yield ETF, which guys, pay attention this week because Bert, what ETF is probably going to announce here shortly?
SCHD is coming down the hopper. I thought it was coming on Friday, so we'd have two to talk about in this video. It'll be next week, and we'll do a much more comprehensive video talking about the impact dividend increase with our ETFs in the coming week. But that's what got me excited about VYM, because if there was strong growth in VYM, I'm hoping it's going to translate over to SCHD's world. Obviously, they're two different funds, but it would be nice to get a huge banger of a dividend increase, Lanny, especially after what I would consider a tough 2024 with dividend increases and dividend cuts, I should say.
Oh, it is beautiful. Can't wait. It's going to be an exciting week for ETFs for sure.
Yeah, so everybody too, let us know in the comment section. We obviously know VYM crushed it. SCHD has not announced, but I'm sure there are plenty of other funds out there that have announced dividend increases. A ton of them. Let us know which ETFs of yours have announced the best dividend increases and throw that SHIT in the comment section down there below.
Guys, subscribe also. We're not done with the video, but just subscribe. Come on. We're what? Hopefully less than 6 away right now. All right, Bert.
We need like we need one of those like you know how they have like the old like call-in shows where they'd be like raising money and then people be going in there. We need like a live subscriber count to put on there.
We're raising subscribers here, guys.
Yeah. And when we hit 20,000, Landy, we probably should have a huge swag giveaway blowout. We should do something for 20,000 subscribers.
Oh, 20,000. It's going to be game over, guys.
Yeah.
Because us dividend investors are going to be doing some big things at 20,000. But Bert, the next fun thing though you had was like our top 5 foundation stocks. Check that article out on our blog from a decade plus ago when we wrote it. And Bert, S&P 500 is up over 15%. So we want to have our top 5 stocks. Let the community know what are the top 5 and then how they're performing compared to that S&P 500.
Yeah, because we thought it'd be fun. We own all 5 of these, and we thought it'd be fun to go through it and just see how they're stacking up against the market, because that's the benchmark everyone has. It's why should we pick the foundation stocks versus just putting it in the market? It's a very fair question, and it's going to change every year based on the performance of how some of the individual stocks are doing. Our 5 foundation stocks are 1, Procter & Gamble, 2, Johnson & Johnson, 3, McDonald's, 4, Consolidated Edison, and 5, Pepsi. Those are our big 5 here. Again, the S&P 500 is up 15.22% as of the start of this video. Lanny, how are the foundation stocks doing? Feel free to say as many as you'd like, and we can just keep going from there.
Well, I'm not sure if you want me to start from the top or start from some of the negative.
Let's go backwards in order. Let's change the order up here. Which one's the worst performing?
McDonald's is down 12.68% this year.
Oh, yeah. McDonald's has been beaten down this year. It kind of caught me off guard, too. They hovered around 250 for a while, which was kind of crazy that McDonald's is dipping down. Makes sense given the context of the fast food wars. Budgets are finally getting stretched. So I can see why MCD is getting its teeth kicked out. Number 2, the second worst performing foundation stock. So number 4, Johnson & Johnson, ticker symbol JNJ, good old reliable. Huge position in my wife and I's portfolio. We each have 100+ shares, much more now because of DRIP. J&J is down 7.01%. And that's the stock that Laney and I have been trying to buy around 145. That's usually our buy zone for J&J, and just keeps hovering around there. It's kind of boring this year for J&J.
Let's slide over to another dividend king here with Pepsi, down 3.26%.
All right, Pepsi, seeing some.
Guys, stay tuned to a Thursday video. Possibly.
Excellent segue. I know you've been all over Pepsi lately. That's been one of your favorites. Whew. All right, let's do the second best performing foundation stock, which is funny because they're down year to date, is Consolidated Edison, down 2.24%. Bum, 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 bum.
Can't win them all. Can't win them all.
You can't. So who is the best?
But Procter & Gamble, PG, still lagging in the S&P 500, but up 13%.
Yeah, so up 13%. All of them are underperforming the S&P 500. So on January 1st, if you would have put $1,000 in the S&P 500 and then $1,000 split evenly amongst our foundation stocks, you would have wanted to put it in the market this year, up for the first half of 2024, but
S&P 500 all day.
all day long. So, Lanny, that was our third topic here. Good old number 4. Oh, banks? What? Banks?
We're talking about banks. We're
Banks.
not talking about Bruin. But yeah, we're talking about.
Oh, don't even getting Kanto started. Those are some bangers that are going on that are always going on in our house.
Oh
Uh,
boy. But yeah, there's some a little bit of issues that, again, that the Federal Reserve found when looking at the living wills of some of the big four banks here, Citigroup, JP Morgan, Goldman, Bank of America.
yeah, so every twice a year, Landy, the Fed evaluates the largest of the banks. They make them go through living wills. That really came out of the financial crisis to make sure banks were strong enough with liquidity. They had that if there was a catastrophic economic shock that hit like in 2008, 2009, banks were in a much better liquidity position so they could survive and we didn't have to bail everybody out. They really pared it down to only the largest banks. So that's why only 8 of them are included. It started out with a much larger scope. Now it's much lower on the stress test. So it's interesting that 4 of the banks didn't really pass the living wills this year. The 4 were Citi, JP Morgan, Goldman, and Bank of America. I'm sorry if you said them before, Lanny, but those were the big 4 again. So I wanted to reemphasize that those were the 4 that were inadequate as of their latest results. And it was funny. What was the area that caught them, Lanny? We have an old issue coming back up for these banks here. I thought it was funny. It was the derivative sector is what caused them down. So sorry, I threw that one on you there.
No idea.
Yeah, it was the government wasn't happy with their derivatives and how they would unwind them in the event of catastrophic events. So
You sell them.
at least you know they're there this time, right? Isn't that the big difference between 2008 2009? You didn't really know.
The derivative is, very loose term.
Yeah. So getting a little loosey goosey here. But the interesting thing is, if I were JP Morgan, I were Jamie Dimon, I'd say like, tell government, come here and do something about it. Because next time there's a banking crisis, you know who you're calling up first when you need somebody to bail out the banks. So go ahead and tell me our balance sheet's inadequate.
So, guys, those were our
Yeah.
hot topics for the week. Let
Yeah.
us know what you think about that, what your favorite topics were. And maybe we didn't mention some, but let us know what caught your radar during the course of the week and let us know below.
Yeah. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up. And remember, you're either with us or you're against us, Jack.
That was Bert and Lanny from the DD, over and out.